telling us to enjoy it while they're young. But our days are filled with chaos and stress and cooking and endless laundry piles. Where's the time to enjoy anything? Yeah, that's what I always thought too. There's so much I have to do. When do I find time for peace and joy and happiness when I barely have time to sleep? Mama, it's time for a shift. You can be a happy mom. Yeah, it's possible. If I can, you can. Trust me. I've been a mess. I've been depressed. I've been overwhelmed. I've been to the bottom of the pits. And I've risen. I've grown. I've bloomed. And it all started when I realized I didn't have to anything. I get to. It is my privilege and my honor and my divine responsibility to be the queen of my home. It's not a burden. I'm not the janitor and the lunch lady. I'm in charge. I'm the ruler. I'm the chaos coordinator. I'm the calm in the storm. I don't have to anything. I get to. And so do you. So let's rise, mamas. Adjust your crown. Accept your responsibility. And change the effing world. It's all in the way you choose to see it. You're listening to I Get To, the podcast with Brittany Clarkson. That's me. Hey, my friends. Welcome back to I Get To, the podcast with Brittany Clarkson. That's me. So a lot of times when I start talking about my mental health journey, I always go back to like 2 years ago in 2020 when I had the major shift that really changed things. But I don't often go back and talk about the couple years before when all the ingredients started coming in. Things didn't fall into place until 2 years ago when I figured out the happy mom brain and how to just not let depression take over my life anymore, how to keep it away. But all the ingredients were being put in there. Things were already in play before that. I just had a lot of ups and downs. Depression kept coming back because I wasn't aligning my days and setting an intention. I was just getting distracted with all the things that lead into habits that mimic a depressive episode, which then welcomed a depressive episode. But one of the things that came into play a few years back is decluttering. And I learned everything I know about decluttering, pretty much everything, like 90% of what I know from Ali Casaza. She is the life minimalist. I think she was even my introduction to mom mindset. So I cannot recommend highly Casaza enough. She has her book out now, Declutter Like a Mother. She does an annual challenge, Declutter Like a Mother, where you can get in with a whole group of women and declutter together. This isn't like a paid ad promo for her. She's an amazing resource, and I recommend her to anyone who is, decluttering isn't easy. But in decluttering things, we started getting rid of a lot of the physical clutter in our home. But there came a point where I was even encouraged by Ali Casaza to declutter my schedule and start letting go of the things that aren't serving me. And this was actually kind of harder than letting go of the physical things. But I wanted to talk to you about when letting go and decluttering something is really hard, mainly from your schedule. So when you declutter your schedule, it gives you so much freedom. You have time to be unbusy. You've got blank space to not have to do anything. And that is such a beautiful, refreshing feeling.
when you can like look at your calendar and know you're not just go, 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 you're being intentional. You don't have to be somewhere every single day. I don't know. Some people probably get really recharged by, having somewhere to be. I remember a season of my life where I filled my calendar because if I had somewhere to be, then it meant I had to get up. I had to get out of bed. I had to get dressed. Um, it was beneficial in a lot of ways for me to have to get up and go, as opposed to just staying at home, eating Cheetos, watching Netflix. This is like before kids, where if I stayed home, like I really had nothing that I had to do. Letting my kitchen get dirty, where only two people ate. Um, I can't believe how dirty I let my kitchen be before I had kids. I mean, I believe how dirty it gets now because it's a family of five. I believe how much laundry I have now because it's a family of five. But when I think back and think, like, I had a laundry mountain when it was two people living here. You know what? Backtrack. I had a laundry mountain before I met my husband. Like, this is not motherhood struggles when it comes to the home care routines. Those are very much personal issues for me. I mean, the kids make it harder because there's more, and my attention is divided more. And I just can't believe how it was worse before kids. And I mean, I could question what was I doing all day, but I know what I was doing. I was avoiding anything that made me feel anything at all. Um, so that was a bit of a segue. Um, Back on topic, decluttering your schedule, being able to have days where you can just be spontaneous. You could choose to stay home. You could choose to go out. You can do whatever you want when you have a blank day. You could choose to get ahead on house projects or something like that. Like, you have time, and to be able to see that physically, like in your planner, that you have days blocked off that are just do nothing days. You know, personal Sabbaths where you just have time for nothing, even if it's not full days, even if it's just like after 5 p.m. I don't do anything. Like, we clock out, open schedule after 5 p.m. We can go do dinner. We can, you know, go bed early. We can lay on the trampoline and watch the stars now that it's not raining. Um, just, it's really nice to not be go, go, go all the time. You need to have breaks, especially if you are a go, go, go all the time kind of person. You need to intentionally take time. I mean, there's physiological reasons why we are called to rest. Um, it's one of those beautiful things where, you can Google it yourself. Science backs up biblical teachings when it comes to things like the Sabbath. Um, when it comes to rest, you should definitely set time for rest and renewal. Sometimes renewal doesn't come in the form of like sitting and resting in bubble baths. Sometimes renewal for some people comes in like an intentional phone call with someone who just like lights the fire in your soul. Sometimes renewal can come from reading. Sometimes renewal can come from being in nature. It can come from going on a walk. Rest doesn't always mean that you have to sit and just do nothing. Um, but sometimes we get to a point where we have to declutter something off our schedule that is causing more stress than it is causing joy. And sometimes it's something that you really, really love, and it really, really hurts to say goodbye to. Especially when it's like quitting a long-term commitment and letting that go. And I understand it can be really hard, but the freedom is worth it. And I promise it always works out in the end. It always does. Um, because you don't know what's in store for you around the corner. So if you're feeling a pull to let go of some kind of a commitment, it doesn't feel aligned with you anymore. It doesn't feel right at this time anymore. I want to empower you and encourage you to give it up. That's right. Give up. Quit. It's okay to quit. I remember being raised on like the term like quitters never win, and like it was so encouraged never to quit anything. But I have found a lot of freedom and joy in quitting things often. And sometimes there are things I really like, but like you don't have to do them forever, especially when it comes to things like hobbies. Like I used to make jewelry, and there's been so much freedom in quitting that. And I sent all my jewelry pieces to my mom's house where I don't have to worry about my little kids getting into the teeny tiny little beads and dumping them over ever again. Um, and there's been freedom in giving that up. And it was kind of hard because it was like part of my identity for a little while. Um, and it was tough to like let go of all that. But it was a lot of physical clutter too, and the stress of my kids getting into it because I didn't have a safe place to store it away from them. And it's like I can never get it out because as long as you have a toddler around, you can't make jewelry, like not easily. You have to be super intentional about it, and it just wasn't worth it to me to set up the right kind of space to keep my kids away to prevent that from happening. Um, like I'm one of those like I leave it for 2 seconds and they come and destroy it because I'm not mindful enough to lock the door on my way out because it's just 2 seconds and I don't want to have to unlock the door again, that kind of thing. But here I'm gonna talk about the hardest commitment that it has ever been for me to let go of, and that was teaching and coaching dance. My husband has forbidden me from buying any more planners. Are you a planner junkie who can never find the right fit too? Or they get worn out and you just need to change things up every few months? Do you struggle to find a planner that puts your mental health in priority and your productivity second? Then do I have the thing for you. My husband wouldn't let me buy any more planners, so now I design them myself. The Everyday Joy Planner is designed with mental wellness and restfulness in mind. This is a 3-month undated daily planner that incorporates intentionality, gratitude, affirmations, time blocking, meal planning, and reflection all into each day without feeling cluttered and overwhelmed. By the way, it's so very aesthetically pleasing. These planners are adorable and I am obsessed with. You can buy them on Amazon or find them at the link below in the description. Dance team was a huge part of my life. Between teaching and coaching and all of the performing, it was such a big part of my life. And I quit and it was hard. And I kind of quit in, what is it? Like I let go a little bit at a time. So I quit teaching the kids team. And that was really rough and really hard to quit teaching the kids team and to quit coaching the Buckaroo Bells. Those were very hard. But I had to become okay with freeing up my schedule because these things had me busy a lot of nights a week. Like burdensome on my marriage, it had me busy so many nights a week. And this was just as I was about to have a third child. It was one of those like went on maternity leave and never came back kind of scenarios. I just coached up until it was pretty much time to have him. And then we were done. And here's the thing, when you let go of some of these long-term commitments, when it doesn't feel right for you to be there anymore, it's usually a sign that there's much bigger and better things right around the corner. Sometimes it's you that needs to make the shift so that bigger things can happen for you. But sometimes you just need to get out of the way to let someone else step up and be everything they've been dreaming of being. So I've seen this happen twice now with dance studios where the owner has a really hard time stepping back and quitting running a studio because so many people count on you and you don't want to let the kids down, but when it's not right for you, it's time to shift. And I've seen where one owner has made that difficult shift of closing down her studio, and another mom at the studio just steps right up and picks it up and starts her own dance studio. Just builds it back out of nothing. And all the students that, were out of a studio just flock right to it. They get to stay for the most part in the same group of friends, and you get to watch this whole other woman bloom and flourish into being a small business owner. And the timing just ends up being perfect. And when I quit coaching the Littles team, it allowed another mom at the studio who'd been dancing for years to step up and take my place. It allowed her to become the coach. It allowed her to become a teacher. She filled in all my spots and more. And then when that studio owner moved out of state, closed down the studio, she's making a big, beautiful shift for her whole family. And I love following on that journey. But now this mom who'd taken my place teaching at the studio ends up starting a whole new studio of her own alongside another mom. And it's just so beautiful to watch how this whole group makes these shifts and these big changes. From the outside, they seem like they're going at it fearlessly. And it's just so amazing, like the resilience that, yeah, you can quit. People are going to carry on and they're going to do bigger and better things without you. And then you're going to go on to do bigger and better things separately too. When you're feeling the pull to leave something and it's really tough to leave, keep in mind there's something else waiting for you. That's why you don't feel aligned to stay there. And you're filling someone else's spot. See, my last few months at the studio, I was reluctant to show up. Quitting dance, as hard as that was, it freed me up in my schedule and it freed me up mentally and it helped me be able to get aligned and get intentional about a lot of things. Helped me fix my sleep schedule a bit. Helped me and the boys get on a better schedule. Helped me figure out this whole how to make dinner for the family without hating every minute of it. It freed me up to heal, and it freed me up to start this whole business. If I was still coaching dance right now, I would not have this podcast. If I was still coaching, I would not have written the Happy Mom Brain. I wouldn't have designed the Everyday Joy Planner. Everything I'm doing now, I wouldn't be doing. I'd still be half-assing blog posts. So me taking time to quit, the hardest commitment I've ever quit, me having the courage and the bravery to walk away and to let it go, has allowed other women to bloom. It has allowed me freedom to heal, and it has allowed me to begin this whole business of helping other women heal and keep moving. But one last thing I'll say is, if it's where you truly belong, you will find your way back when the timing is right. And what comes of that might be bigger and more beautiful than anything you've ever had before. I've recently been feeling this pull after 2.5 years away to come back to the dancing space a little bit. So my local ladies who did dance team with me before, there might be something coming your way in the near future. Feel free to reach out and ask me. I'm not ready to announce things big time, but I am definitely up for having conversations around the topic of bringing back the bells in some kind of a way, shape, or form that's familiar yet different than what we've experienced in the past. If it's meant for you, you'll find your way back. It will come to you without you having to force it and having to try it. And it will be easy if you let it be easy. Let go. When your body says let go, because your nervous system is racked with just stress, when your nervous system says you need to step back, then step back. All right, that is wisdom and spirit guiding you. Listen. Because you might be getting prepared for something totally different, something that is going to be bigger. You might be getting set up to do things you never imagined in all your life that you'd be doing. So step back when your body says step back. Listen. Take some time to seek wisdom. Follow the guidance. Get into your spirit, and everything else will fall into place. If it's meant for you, yeah, it's hard to quit. If it's meant for you, it will find its way back to you. You can't stop what's meant for you from coming to you. So go forth, unafraid. Be a quitter. Because quitting one thing is the only way you're going to start something bigger. Thank you so much for listening today. If you could do me a quick little favor and rate and review this podcast, that would mean so, so much to me. And also, if you could screenshot the episode you're listening to and share it on your social media so that other mamas can find the same episodes and learn the same things you've learned, that would mean so much to me, so much to the whole world. Thank you so much for making the world a better place.